Hello. In order to graduate from high school or go to college, you have to know how to do 3 problems that are very confusing. And they are, if you are given 2 coordinate pairs of points on a line, 1, -6, for example, and 3, 0, that is 2 coordinate pairs. If you are given those coordinate pairs, you will be asked to find the slope of the line going between those two, the distance between the 2 points, and the midpoint. So I'm going to show you, first of all, what are they? Okay, so first, let's plot the points. 1, -6. 1, start at the origin, always enter at the building at the origin, and walk before you take the elevator up or down. You go down 6. There is the point 1, -6. Now let's plot 3, 0. We'll walk 3 and elevator none. There's the 2 points. Now I'm going to connect them so you can see the distance between them. There we go. So one of the things you're going to have to find is the distance between these 2 points. You have to find that distance. Okay, the other thing you have to find is the midpoint. We'll show you what the midpoint is. This is the point in the middle. Okay, the point right smack in the middle. Okay, and then the other thing you're going to have to find is the slope of the line. And if you recall, let me get red, to do slope, you could do it like this. Pick 2 points on corners, maybe that one and that one. Drop a bomb in the turlet, make a right triangle. Slope is defined as rise over run. I'll say rise over, you say run, ready, rise over run, rise over run. Okay, so it's rising 3, 1, 2, 3. It's running 1. You write your name on the line to figure out if it's positive or negative. So I'm going to write my name in the line. Mark. My name is going up the hill. The word up ends with a P, so it's positive. If it had been going down, that ends with an N, and then it would be negative. Okay, so my line is going up, so it's positive 3 over 1. Now, that's not the way we're going to do any of these problems, though. We're going to do them with formulas and stuff instead of actually graphing them, because they don't always come out all nice and easy to see like this one does. But that's what it's talking about. Midpoint is the point in the middle. Distance between is you're finding out how many little thingies is between there, how many units. And the slope is like what we just did, 3 over 1. So now I'm going to raise this up to give us more room. And we're going to do it the way that you're going to have to do it, because, like I said, you can't always graph them and get it all nice like that. All right, we'll start with the slope. To get the slope, you have to know the formula. The formula is, the slope is m about bim. What b to b? I'll tell you what the b be. It be this. The b be the y intercepting, you see. I'll say the b be the y intercepting, you see. We don't care about that right now, though. We're doing the slope is m about bim. So the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're getting sloped up, but with a million points. We're getting sloped up. Slow. All right, so we've got 3 bubbles on top and 3 bubbles on bottom. Bubble up, bubble up, bubble up. The bubbles are very important. Bubble on, bubble on, bubble up. Bubble, 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 bubble. The bubbles are very important when you're first learning it. Once you get the hang of it, then most people don't have to do the bubbles forever. But at first, if you don't do the bubbles, you'll probably get the wrong answer out. All right, then you assign values, like who's x2, who's x1. I don't know, maybe x2 or x1. Well, you assign those values to these numbers over here. So I'm going to call this x1, and this y1, and this x2, and this y2. And you say, well, how the heck did you know to do that? Because it's in a song, and the song goes like this. Let me get my pointer out. Okay, the song goes like this. X, Y, 1, 1, Betty 1, here comes the toto. X, Y, 1, 1, Betty 1, here comes the toto. Okay, say 1, 1, I'm meaning run, run. Here comes the choo-choo. Like, get out of the way. Here comes the choo-choo. And I'm saying Betty 1. That means better. Better run. Okay, so it goes like this. X, Y, 1, 1, Betty 1. Here comes a choo-choo. Better run. Here comes a choo-choo. That helps you remember what to put down, when to put X, when to put Y, when to put 1, when to put 2, because it can be very confusing. So, X, Y, X. X, Y, 1, 1, Betty 1, here comes a choo-choo. A little late, but. Alright, so now I've got my values assigned. Now I just plug it in the formula. You just let the formula guide you a way. Because you know how, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi says, let the force be with you. Well, we say, let the formula guide you. So, we're going to let the formula guide us. It says, first thing it says, I'll bring down my equal sign first. I like to line them up. Equal, under, equal. First thing I see, I'm going to put my, there, my fraction bar. The first thing I see is y2. Well, who's y2? Find y2. There it is. He's 0. So you put down the 0. Then you look at the next bubble. The bubble is a takeaway. So you put a takeaway. Who's in the next bubble? Just let the formula guide you. The next bubble is y1. Well, who's y1? y1. There he is. -6. See, if you don't have the bubble, what kids do is they'll put a 0 and then they'll put the takeaway and then they start to put the -6 and then they'll see that takeaway and they'll think that's the negative and they'll put 0, take away 6 and then they miss it. Whatever. Anyway, now let's do the bottom. Let the formula guide you. It says x2. Who's x2? 3. The next bubble is a takeaway. So you put down your takeaway. The next bubble is x1. Who's x1? Who's x1? Oh, there he is. 1. Now you just take your calculator out and you punch in the top. 0, take away -6, and your calculator will say 6. So you put a 6. And then you type 3, take away, well, you don't type it, 3, take away 1. 3 fingers, take away 1 finger is 1. 2. And then you punch 6 divided by 2, you get 3. Which is the same as what we got, remember? When we did that thingy? So the slope is 3. We got the slope. That is how you get the slope. You just let the formula guide you a way. Now we're going to get the distance between. So I'm going to erase this formula and we're going to use a new formula. A new formula. And boy, this new formula is a monster. It's huge. Distance equal the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus the quantity y2 minus y1, whoops, poo-poo, y1 squared. Whew. Now, luckily, you don't have to memorize that one because it's on the formula sheet. The other one you have to have memorized. All right, so, once you learn how to do the slope one, and you just let the force be with you, let the formula guide you. The rest, this is actually just let the formula guide you, dude. So, who's x? Put your parentheses. Who's x2? x2, there he is, 3. Put down the 3. It's like bubble, but I didn't draw them in because there's so many other stuff up there. I thought it'd be confusing. But there's your second bubble. What's the takeaway? Takeaway. The next third bubble is x1. x1, who's x1? 1. Don't forget that little 2. Then bring down your plus. Bring down your parentheses. Who's y2? We're just letting the formula guide us. Who's y2? There he is, 0. Second second bubble is a takeaway. Y1, who's Y1? There he is, -6. Okay, and then don't forget to bring down the square root sign. That's still there. Nobody said he could go away yet. And now you always do everything in parentheses first. So what's 3? Take away 1. 2. So that's 2 squared. Bring down your plus sign. And if you type in 0, take away -6. Oh, I forgot my little exponent. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. That could make you miss it. All right, 0 take away -6. If you type that, you get 6. Don't forget the little exponent of 2. And then don't forget the square root sign. It's still there. Now what's 2 squared? 4. Plus, what's 6 squared? 36. Add them together. 40. And you still got the square root sign, so it's a square root of 40. You punch in the square root of 40, and you get 6.32. There is your distance between. Easy. Piece of cake, upside down. So, just let the formula guide you. Now, the midpoint is the only thing we have left, and it's actually pretty easy. So I'm going to erase all of this, and we're going to do the midpoint. Now, to do the midpoint, oh, poo-poo head. I erased my problems. There. To do the midpoint, you just get the average of the x's and the average of the y's. That's it. I better put my x, y. This will be a good review. X, y, x, y. 1, 1, baby 1, here comes a 2, 2. Okay. Now, get the average of the x's and the average of the y's. Where's the x's? That guy and that guy. He's an x and he's an x. So you get their average. Average of 1 and 3. To get an average, you add them together and divide by 2. 4 divided by 2. You get 2. Now let's do the average of the y's. Here's your y's, -6 and 0. So you take -6 and 0 and add them together. Okay, you get -6. And then divide it by 2. So it's really -6 divided by 2. And you get -3. And that is the midpoint. 2, -3. Hey, let's look and see if it really was. 2, -3. Ah! I erased it. 1, 2, -3. It was, anyway. And that is how you do slope, distance between, and midpoint. 3 very difficult, confusing problems.